6.1, we just looked at expressions with exponents. So we were just expanding them and putting them back together, which is stuff we already kind of knew how to do. Today we're going to be multiplying expressions with exponents. So there's just a little bit of terminology that we need to know. Okay? So we need to know what the parts of an exponential expression are. Okay? So what are the different parts? One part is the exponent. Does anybody know? Which part? B or N?
N.
N is the exponent. Good. So we're going to label that. Okay. So N is our exponent. Now B is what we call the base. Okay. Now B can be a variable, a letter, or it can be a number. All right. Just depending on the problem. But B is what we call the base. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay? So, if we have exponential expressions that have the same base, then we can multiply them. If the bases are not the same, we cannot multiply them. Okay? So, it's just like terms. Okay? A couple steps to doing this. So when I'm multiplying expressions with exponents, step 1, I want to expand each exponent. So what we did on the last homework assignment. I'm going to expand those. And then step 2, I'm going to count the number of each base, and that's going to be my exponent. So we might have answers that have more than one base in them now. Okay?
Not done.
Example 1. I'll leave it up. Okay, example 1. We have y to the third times y squared. Okay? Now y to the third, step 1 is to expand each exponent. So y to the third is the same as y times y times y. And y to the second is the same as y times y. Now I want to combine them all together. So what is, when I multiply all of these together, what do I get? Y to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good.
That's it? It's like
And that's your answer.
adding.
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
You could just say simple. Just do your homework.
Example 2, h to the third times h to the fifth. Try it by yourself, please. So, h to the third is h times h times h. H to the fifth is h times h times h times h times h. All of that equals h to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, that's what I put.
For example 3, I actually have two different bases. What are they? X and Y. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write out all of the x's. X to the third is x times x times x. Y squared is times y times y. X to the fourth, x times x times x times x times y. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to rearrange these so that all my x's are together and all my y's are together. So that's going to be x times x times x times x times x times x times x.
Wow.
Times y times y times y. So all I did was I rearranged them so they were all together. And that equals x to the what?
7.
Good. X to the 7th, y to the 3rd. Okay. And that's your answer. All right?
Is there any more?
Yes, there are.
Example 7.
Example 7. Now this time, we're almost done. This time I have numbers as my bases, but the idea is still the same. So this is the same as 4 times 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 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's going to be 4 to the 8. Now, we don't have to multiply all this out because 4 to the 8th is a really, really, really big number. So you can just leave it as 4 to the 8th. If it's something small, like 4 squared, you have to actually do it out, okay? If it's something you could do in your head, like 4 squared would give you... You can? No. I can't.
I can't do this in my head, not even if it's a small number, so I'm not going to do it.
Okay, if it's small, if it's something doable, do it. If it's big like this, don't do it.
I can't do any of them in my head, so I'm just kidding.
I know.
Okay? Alright, example 5. 10 to the third times 10 to the third. Try it on your own. Okay, so this is 10 to the third, which is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So that gives me 10 to the 6. Not 600.
6 million.
This is how many times I'm multiplying 10 by itself.
So it's just one.
So it's 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros.
I told you 1 million.
Yeah.
It's 1 million.
You put the one and then
Yeah.
the zero.
Guys, this is the same as 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So that's 1 million. Okay? Remember, the exponent, we do not multiply the exponent by the base. Okay? Example 6. 2f in parentheses to the 4th power. What is the exponent attached to here?
The parentheses.
The parentheses. So we're actually multiplying the whole thing by itself. So this is 2f times 2f times 2f times 2f. Good, Hannah. Okay. Now I want to take all of my 2's and put those next to each other. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And all of my f's. And put those next to each other. So times f times f times f times f. Hold on a second. Okay, what is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? 16. 4 times 4 is 16.
64.
F to the 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay. So that's why we expanded it out, and then we rearranged it, so all of our terms that are the same are next to each other. Okay. Example 7. 1/2 to the 5th power. What is being raised to the exponent? The parentheses. So this is the same as 1/2 times 1/2. So times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So we can multiply all the way across. So that's going to give me 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 1 over 32.